What do we have here? We got something from Amazon. We got a Prime thingamajigger. It's something. It sounds knife-like, and I know I ordered something, so hopefully it's the thing that I ordered that's come in. And it is a super budget. Let's all sing the super budget theme song. Super budget, they're almost free. You can afford them even if you're poor like me. All right, let's clean that up. That was pretty crap. All right, let's try it again. Ready? Super budget, they're almost free. Anyone can buy them, even poors like me. That's what I got off the top of my head. So let's get this guy open. Sitivien. Man, I love Sitivien. I've had a bunch of Sitiviens, probably 6, something like that-ish. And I haven't had any that were, well, okay, I take that back. I think I've had one that was an axis lock that was kind of shit. But 1 out of 6 or 7, it's not bad. It's got a nice plastic bag. Boy, it's got some micarta. Looks like a kind of a burlappy micarta. Boy, that is very grippy. Huh, that is super, super duper grippy. I don't know, and it's not super ugly. It's not super fat. It's a little bit fat. Boy, it looks like it takes that Benchmade style clip, which is nice because I have a few of those. Let's try to reverse slick this guy. Not bad. All right, the lock access is not the best, but it's not terrible. Let's see. Almost feels like it's got a little pivot lash. Hey, what did I open this thing with? I opened it with the Towser K. Man, I love Kaiser. They make such good stuff. This Towser K has incredible action. Just crazy good, man. Just look at the drop on this guy. Look. Just crazy good. Let's see, can I do the old move it out of the way and not chop your finger off thing? Yep, there we go. Yeah, nice. So droppy. Love, love, love the Towser K. Now, the jury's still out on this guy. Okay, let's try the flipper. It looks, ooh, okay. So the flipper has jimping, and even though it has a rounded bit past the jimping, which should also be jimped, it still feels grippy because the jimping is really grippy. Okay. Man, it kind of has that slow, kind of slow deployment you get with kind of a, well, no, it's not really a weak detent. No, it's not a weak detent. It's kind of like the flipper tab's too low compared to the, you want to at least parallel with this line, like a 90-degree line of the knife with the pivot. And it's a little bit below that 90-degree line. You kind of look at it like that. So it should be up a little higher. You'd have better leverage. So it's a little slow. Not terrible. But the lock access definitely could be better. This side, it's kind of shadow boxed liners that's nice, but they could have just knocked this edge down here of this liner so you could reach across to get the lock better. What are we talking about blade thickness wise? It looks, I don't know, it's definitely not a thick boy. Let's look at the Towser K. Yeah, it's definitely a little thinner than the Towser K, although not much. Yeah, it's pretty close actually. So yeah, not a thin boy and not a small boy. It's definitely a full-size knife. This is the Sitivien ST-149, by the way. And man, that is a dirty blade. Now, luckily, it came with this awesome, wow, it's just like a piece of nylon, stretchy fabric, pretty much garbage. But I mean, it was, you know how much this thing was? Take a guess. Before I say how much it was, take your best guess. This is micarta. And supposedly 14C28N, decent steel. Okay. Now the design may be a little boring, but I mean, polished liners, stainless steel liners that are actually machined out a little bit inside. It's a tad heavy, but it's not super heavy or anything. What do we think this thing cost? I'm going to tell you in a minute.
What's your bid, Jose, on this showcase?
I've been on the showcase You mean everything?
Everything.
Everything.
Give me your bid, Joe. Jose, what do you bid?
I bid 250,000.
$250?
250,000.
250,000? Think about that for a moment now.
Woo! Wait. 60,000.
$60,000? Is that your bid? $60,000 it is. Gay, this is your showcase. All right, Gay, what do you bid on your showcase?
$1.
$1 is your bid. The audience approves. We'll be back after this.
They had some other versions. It's like they had that greenish G10. What the hell is it called? Jade. They had Jade G10 and some other stuff, and those were like 25, I think. This one, because of whatever reason, it's overstocked or whatever, was $15.
Jose, you bid $60,000 on your showcase. Actual retail price of Jose's showcase?
$15.
You win, Gay. You win. He's over. Congratulations.
$15 on Amazon. If it's still that low, I'll just put it the link anyway, even if it's that low or not. I'll put a link down here below, and you can grab this guy up for $15. I mean, regardless of anything else, it's going to be okay for, a beater knife, no matter what, for $15. It's at least as good as a $15 garbage, as I like to call it, and it's way sharper than a Gerber. Gerbers don't come that sharp. This thing is actually sharp. It's got a little hiccup in it somewhere, but it's actually kind of sharp. I'd say it's 7/8 as sharp as it should be. Well, no, it was a $15 knife, so it's 120% as sharp as it should be. So it's sharper than you expect from a $15 knife. What do we got? A G10 backspacer with all kind of jimping on it. Kind of neat. As I said, the pocket clip. Boy, look how thick that pocket clip is. That is a thick boy. Let's see. Let's look at it compared to the Kaiser pocket clip. We're going to see that the Sitivien pocket clip there is a little bit thicker. So a little stronger, I guess. I don't know. But I've had definitely better drop action on a Sitivien before. It's not terrible, but I've definitely had a more drop shutty one before. It's not bad. Let's see. Is it... Boy, it's got that little rattleness to it. Listen to that. That usually means that you got that pivot lash I talked about. So let's see. Yeah, it's definitely a little pivot lash. In cheaper knives, you're going to get pivot lash because they drill the holes through the blade to put the pivot through with the machining that they have, the tooling that they have, and they aren't worried about making sure that that bit that's cutting a hole through there isn't worn down a little bit. They don't replace it every 10 knives to make sure that it's not worn down. They replace it every 50 knives to save a few bucks. Okay, so I'm making those numbers up totally. The blade shape, it's kind of neat. I don't hate it. Could almost be a little bit of a harpoon if we brought it down like that. So I might do that, maybe, just to make it a little more appealing. Like I said, the micarta is nice. Could probably take a little sandpaper to it and get these edges. It's got a little bit of a, I don't know, like where the edge comes together, where it was milled down to here, and then where this is milled, there's like a corner edge right there that's a little, I don't know, feels a little bit rough. So, but I mean, I think just a little hand sanding and you'd get that out. So no big deal there. I mean, it's good micarta. It's good enough. It feels strong. It doesn't feel wimpy. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I have some carbon fiber pocket clips that are this style. That would look pretty good on here, I bet. Let's see, do I have another knife with it? No, I don't have a knife with it handy. Boy, that is, not bad action. Maybe it's getting a little better on the drop. It's not, it's not bad. It's a little shake-shutty. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably going to grow into itself too and be a little smoother over time. Let's see. Yeah, so it's not too tight. The pivot isn't too tight, or else it wouldn't be able to waggle back and forth like that, I don't think. I could try to loosen it though, just for the heck of it. Let's see. That looks way too big. That looks too big. That is close. Too small. And then Goldilocks found this one to be just right. Because it's like a 9. I think this is actually an 8, but this 9 seems to fit in there. Okay, so we're loosening it just a little bit and see what kind of, ooh, that's a lot of play. Okay, so I don't know. I think it was probably pretty good already. But, can't hurt to double check. Make sure you're not too tight on your pivot. If you have your pivot too tight, you can kind of, those ceramic ball bearings that are in most knives, if you have ball bearings. If you don't have ball bearings, you're probably not going to hurt too much by having it a little bit too tight. If it's a washer knife, it don't matter that much. You have a little bit too tight. But if you have a ball bearing knife, what you're going to do is you're going to squish those ball bearings into both sides of the metal that are up against it. And then you'll have dents in the metal every, you'll see the dents. They're the shape of the bearings. There'll be a dent, and then a little space and a dent. And then every time you operate the knife, you'll feel that like that. And it's not good. Let's see, is it any better? After I loosened it a tad. Whoop. It's got a little bit of a hiccup there on the double clutch action. So if you open it here and let it fall, if you open it here and let it fall just to there, and then you try to drop it the rest of the way, it bounces back up into lock open. So you got to get it past that detemp, but not a big deal, pretty easy to do. Let's see, what if we put just a tiny bit of oil on it? Let's put some of this nano oil, thanks to the good people at the Iowa Knife Museum.
Iowa Knife Museum.
For having this oil on hand. Thanks everybody there. The good people at the Iowa Knife Museum. They're the best, really. So if you are going through Iowa sometime, looking for whatever you might look for in Iowa, if you're getting corn or snow, anything like that, make sure you stop in and tell them Pry Bar Knives sent you so they can charge you an extra $5. Let's see. Not quite drop shutty, but maybe a little smoother. Yeah, very nice. I don't know. I think I kind of like it. It's a little heavy. Let's see. We got the scale over here. I think this scale has always annoyed me because it only goes up to like 5 ounces or something. So I bet this thing's going to overdo it. There we go. I'm going to put it, wait, that's grams. Oh, let's see. Ounces. I can't beat anything. I bring glasses. Let's see. Get grams. CT, I have no idea. Grams. Ounces. Okay, that's ounces. Let's try it again. Okay, we're on ounces. Let's see what we got here. 3. I'm slowly letting off. 3.8. It's overloaded. Okay. Let's slowly put it on. 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, 4. I think it's a 4.5. 4.5 to 5, somewhere in there. It overloaded the scale, but I was barely keeping it off the scale when it overloaded. I need to get an actual good scale here that I can use, man. So annoying. Man, you know what? I think with a little more lock access and tidy up these scales a little bit, I think this thing, and then maybe a different pocket clip. So many hours of work. We will have this $15 knife worth a good $35 to $40 if you just kind of looked at it, as an intrinsic value compared to, I didn't get the double clutch that time, as an intrinsic value compared to other knives of similar quality. So there you go. We got this super budget Sitivien, the Sitivien ST-149. It's not bad. It needs a little better lock access and cleaned up micarta, and it's a tad heavy. But other than that, she's sharp. It's got a nice blade shape. She reverse flicks. Does she thumb flick? Yep, good thumb flick. Very nice. The flipper tab works great. Now, because of that pivot lash, because the blade can move back and forth a tiny bit. I mean, I can't hear it make a noise really. Well, okay, listen. You can kind of hear a noise, and you can feel it just a tiny bit. Because of that, it feels a little cheap, okay? It feels like a $25, $30 knife, it does. But performance-wise, I think it's going to be a great little knife. Or actually not a little knife, a big knife. Like I said, here's a Towser K, and Towser K is pretty much a full-size knife. I think it's a 3.4 maybe. So this is like a 3.5-inch blade, I think. Yeah, must be right around 3.5, 3.6. So I don't hate it. I ain't mad at it. The Sitivien ST-149. Decent little knife. Have a nice day.